Protests erupting last week at Claremont McKenna College in California as pro-law enforcement writer Heather McDonald was set to hold a lecture on war on cops. Listen.
Yeah, nice free speech zone, right? Police had to shut down the event before she could finish speaking.
Heather McDonald is the author of The War on Cops, How the New Attack on Law and Order Makes Everyone Less Safe. There's a picture of her book, and she joins us here live. Describe what happened. What did the protesters say to you, or what could you hear them saying?
Well, I heard them chanting, "F*** the police," you know, KKK. The funniest thing was CMC, racist CMC, as if, you know, this is a school that engages in racial preferences, is as open as possible. But I was kept far away from the protesters because of the threat of violence.
Right, so you were not able to speak at Claremont McKenna, which I also heard had a large section of conservative students and professors there. I guess they've been shouted down. And you're saying to yourself, you just want to talk about the war on cops, how the new attack on law and order makes everyone else less safe. And they took that as negative. If you're pro-law enforcement, it's negative. And you also point out that how would they feel about, what are they protesting about the 7,000 African Americans that were killed from gang violence? Cops are stopping that number from growing.
Well, I did speak to an empty room, and it was live streamed to the campus. But that's very different than having students interact with me live. And I want to assert, this is not just my loss of free speech. These students are exercising brute force against their fellow students to prevent them from hearing me live. The hilarious thing is they call themselves anti-fascists. This is an exercise of brute totalitarian force. The message that I came to deliver that is so unacceptable to them, I'm called a white supremacist, is to say that there are law-abiding residents in high-crime inner-city areas who support the police and beg for police protection. That is now viewed as completely unacceptable. And what's happening, thanks to the Black Lives Matter movement, cops are backing off of proactive policing, leaving those law-abiding residents without any protection, public order,
right.
And crime is rising. 7,000 blacks, as you say, Brian, were murdered in 2015, among them a 9-year-old boy in Chicago who was lured into an alley and assassinated in cold blood. The Black Lives Matter protests, these Claremont McKenna activists have said not a peep of protest against that mayhem.
Wow. Why do you think that's happening? Why are the police backing off in these neighborhoods now?
Because when they get out of their cars to make a police stop, they are surrounded by hostile, jeering crowds, throwing things at them, sometimes cursing, thanks to the false ideology that we're living through an epidemic of racially biased police shootings.
How did this happen?
Well, the universities we need to pay much closer attention to. They are spewing out an ideology of racial victimhood, and people are believing it. And it is a lot easier to talk about phantom police racism, which we've been doing for the last 20 years, than to confront the much more difficult problem of black-on-black crime.
Will you speak at another campus if invited?
Well, I certainly would. And I have something scheduled at the University of Miami in Ohio at the end of this month on policing again. We'll see what happens there.
No one from Claremont McKenna has apologized. One person has apologized at Claremont McKenna. That's it.
I got a personal email, but basically the president, to his credit, has promised to discipline the students who blocked entrances. We hope he follows through. Basically, we have a consumerist ethos in college campuses that says you can't punish these student darlings, so we'll see what happens. But there has to be consequences for such a profound violation of our American freedoms.
Heather McDonald, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, best of luck with your book, The War on
Yes.
Cops, How the New Attack on Law and Order Makes Everyone Less Safe. Thank you.
Thank you.